Hello, good morning everyone. Good morning. How are you today? Great? Yeah, I'm great too. So, we are going to learn English together from today onwards. Are you ready? Yes. So, before that, I should introduce myself, right? So, my name is Shifa and I am from Thrissur, Kerala. Did you hear that place? Yes, good. So, English is our subject. We all love English. English is a beautiful language and it's very important to learn English, and it's important to love English because to learn something, to study something, you have to love it first. Okay, so you ready to learn English? Yes. So from today onwards, we are going to learn English together. We and you together. Okay. So, let me ask you a question first. Do you love babies? Small, young, cute babies? Yes, we all love babies, right? Your babies are cute, they are innocent, they're beautiful. Oh, they are the symbols of innocence, purity and beauty, right? Yes. But you know, these babies will grow up. They'll grow up day by day and they will become a grown-up person, right? Like us. We are growing up right now, right? So just like us. We were also babies once upon a time. So we were being changed, right? Just like these babies, they grow up so fast. We too are changing. So change is something that is everywhere, in everything. There is nothing that does not change. Actually, there is a saying that change is the only thing that does not change, right? Do you agree? Yes. So today, we are going to learn a poem, a beautiful poem written by very familiar poet, Robert Frost. You know Robert Frost? You heard about him? Yes. We have learned many poems by Robert Frost, right, in our previous classes. So today, we have a poem titled Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost. So, since we have already learned poems by Robert Frost, we know Robert Frost very well. He is a renowned American poet, one of the very popular poet of 20th century, and his poems are themed around a place called New England, which is a rural place in America. So in his poems, you can see this rural themes, this rural touch, and a kind of introspection, a kind of philosophy also in his poems, in Robert Frost's poems. So today we have a poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay. So when we examine the title itself, we can see that is a statement, right? Nothing gold can stay. Now let's read the whole poem and understand it in detail. Okay, ready? Yes. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf is a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf. So Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay. That is the poem. It's a very short poem, but with full of meaning. Okay. So let's examine the poem in detail, line by line. Are you ready? Yes. So first line. Nature's first green is gold. What is meant by that? Nature's first green. What is nature's first green? We all know that what is nature. And what will be nature's first green? First means it denotes something beginning, right? So, nature's beginning. And in which season nature began to bloom and it's kind of starts? In which season? It is, of course, it is in the season spring. So, by nature's first green, it can be representing what? The season spring. So nature's first green, that is nature's beginning, which may happen in spring, So gold. What is gold? It's a metal, right? Yes. It's a metal. It's not just a metal. It's a very precious metal. So gold represents something important, something precious, valuable. So nature's first green, that is the beginning of nature, is important, is valuable like gold. Right? Yes. And by gold, there is also an interpretation that when nature began to bloom in the spring season, before the leaves appears, there will be a leaf bud. A small bud, a leaf bud from which the leaves began to appear. Then the color of this leaf bud is in slight golden color. It's in slightly yellowish color. Okay, so it can be interpreted that color, the first beginning, will be gold, which means it's important, it's precious. Also, it is in a kind of golden color. Okay, yes. The next line, her hardest hue to hold. What is meant by that? Her. There is a her, there is a person coming here. Who is a her here? Yes, nature. So nature is represented as Mother Nature. We all know Mother Nature. So nature is personified here by the word her as Mother Nature. Okay. So her hardest hue to hold. What is hue? Hue means color. Simply color. And her hardest hue to hold. It is very hard to hold, to keep this color, the color which were at the beginning of nature. At the springtime, that golden precious color is very hard to keep, to hold, because it will be changed. Soon the summer season will come, then the autumn will come, then the winter will come, and everything will disappear in nature. So it is very hard to hold. Okay. Her early leaf is a flower. Again, Mother Nature's. Her early leaf is a flower. The first leaf, the early leaf, is a flower. How can a leaf be a flower? It is not a flower, but it means that it is symbolic for what? Something precious. When we see a flower, we feel that, oh, it's so beautiful, it's pure, it's precious, soft, delicate, yes. So, her early leaf is a flower, meaning the early leaf, the leaves that appear at the beginning of nature, at the springtime or at the summertime, it is like a flower. It's beautiful, it's innocent, it's pure, it's delicate. It's like a flower. But only so in our again change happens. This delicate leaf, which is like a flower, will last only for some time. It will not last forever. So again, change happens, but it only lasts for some time. Of course, it's not enough, we know. It's an exaggeration, but it means that it lasts only for some time only. Okay. Then what happened? There is a continuation in the line. Then leaf subsides to leaf. Leaf which appeared above the tree, it will fell down and it will be subsides. Subside means fell down, or from a higher position to lower position. It sink, it fell. Okay, so it subsides to leaf beneath the tree. So from above the tree, it subsides and it became beneath the tree, under the tree. So what happened? Leaf subsides to leaf. It fell down. Okay. So Eden sank to grief. Just like what? Eden. What happened? Eden. To Eden is the Garden of Eden, which is mentioned in Bible. So what happened in Eden? When Adam and Eve expelled from the Garden of Eden, Eden became a place long forgotten. It became an abandoned place, right? So Eden became an abandoned place and it sank to grief. Eden sank to grief. Eden loses the touch of humanity. So just like Eden sank to grief, when the leaf subsides to leaf, when the spring season changes to winter season, what happened? Eden is a symbolic for Mother Nature. Mother Nature will also sank. So as Eden sank to grief, this Mother Nature also will sink into grief. Grief is, yes, we know, intense sorrow, right? When we lose something, we became in grief. So just like Eden sank to grief, Mother Nature will sink into grief, into intense sorrow by changing of this nature. And it changes from a beautiful spring season to a kind of, a winter season. Just like Eden sank to grief, Mother Nature also will sink into intense sorrow. Okay. So dawn goes down today. So just like what dawn is the time just before the sunrise. It's a beautiful, it's a beginning of the daytime. So it's beautiful, it's very freshening, like a very kind of refreshing time is dawn. But this beautiful dawn time will last only for some time. And it will be, the daytime will come. So dawn goes down. Again, it fell down to daytime. Daytime here means the time before the time after the sunrise. So the dawn goes down to day. Then finally the conclusion. What is the conclusion line? As well as the title, nothing gold can stay. Nothing. It's a strong conclusion. There is no exception. Everything will be changed. Nothing gold, especially the innocent, the pure, the beautiful thing can stay. It will not last forever. Everything will be changed. There is no exception at all. Nothing gold can stay. So that is the whole poem. So here the poet says about change with the example of nature. The seasons, the nature's change is represented here to talk about change in detail, change in general. Okay, so here we can also see another aspect of this poem, that this poem is written in the year 1923. What was the importance of this year? In 1923, it happened before the First World War. Right? Yes, we know that First World War was between 1914 to 1918. So the Robert Frost generation was a people who witnessed this First World War, and it was for the first time in the history of Earth, of history of world, that a world war, a kind of huge massacre, including the whole of the world, is participating. So Frost and his contemporaries, they have witnessed a world war, and it impacted their perspectives, their visions, their optimism in a very bad manner. So this poem was written in 1923, which is after the First World War. So here we can see, the desperateness of Frost. That is, he had witnessed that everything beautiful is perished. So he has realized that nothing gold can stay, which means nothing innocence, nothing beautiful can stay forever. It will be perished. It will be distracted in a very bad manner. So that thought will be impacted in this poem also. Okay, so when we have witnessed something, some life experiences, obviously it will reflect in our thoughts and writings also, right? So just like that, this war also has impacted Frost and his contemporaries. Okay, then we look at the poetic devices. What are the important poetic devices used in this poem? Okay, let's see. Okay, it was written in 1923. Okay, so first of all, let's find out the rhyming words and rhyme scheme. Okay, are you ready? What are the rhyming words? The words that ends in similar sound. So when we look at the last words of each line, which words ends in similar sound? Gold, hold. Yes, there is a rhyming pair. Gold, hold. So to find out the Okay, so now let's find out the poetic devices, the important poetic devices of the poem. Okay, are you ready? Yes. So first, there is a rhyme, right? There is a rhyme in the poem. So to find out the rhyme scheme, we have to find out the rhyming words, right? What are the rhyming words? Yes, the words that sounds that ends like similar sound. So we have to find out the rhyming words of the poem. For that, we have to see how words ends in the end of each line. So first word is gold, right? And the next word hold, flower, hour, leaf, grief, day, stay. These are the words at the end, right? So we have to see which words ends in the similar sound, and we have to give a same letter, same alphabet to those words that ends in similar sound, and another alphabet to the next word. Okay, just like that we have to find out, right? So gold hold, we know that gold hold, it both ends in the same sound, it sounds like similar words, right? So gold hold. So we have to give the letter A, that is the first alphabet, to find out the rhyme scheme. Then when we come at hold, we can understand that gold sounds like hold, so we give the same letter, same alphabet to holds to. Then flower. Flower, we know flower does not sound like hold or gold, so we have to give a new alphabet, that is the next alphabet is B. Then comes R. R sounds like flower, so the same letter B is given again. Then the word is leaf. Leaf does not sound like gold, hold, flower or R, so we have to give a new letter, a different letter. The next alphabet is C, so we give a C. Then grief. Grief sounds like leaf, so same letter. Then there is day. Day does not sound like hold or flower or leaf or anything, so we have to give a new alphabet. The next alphabet is D, and the last word is stay. Stay sounds like day, yes, so we give the same letter D. So the rhyming words, rhyming pairs are gold hold, flower R, leaf grief, day stay. And the rhyme scheme is A, B, B, C, C, D, D. This is the rhyme scheme of the poem. Okay, now let's find out other poetic devices used in the poem. That is, let's see each line by line. First line, which is the first line, nature's first green is gold. So by nature's first green, we have already told that it means spring. So it is the symbol, nature's first green, that word, that sentence is a symbol for spring. So spring is symbolized here by the term nature's first green. So there we can see symbolism. Okay, something is symbolized here, that is spring is being symbolized. And there is the word gold. So we have already told that gold means precious, important thing. It's not the gold, it's not the metal gold, but it is symbolic for precious things or important things or valuable things. So again, that is symbolism in the very first line. Then next line, her. Yes, next line starts with the word her. So nature is being personified here by the word her. Personification is there in the second line. Nature is personified. Then her hardest hue to hold. So hardest hue to hold. The H sound, the H sound is being repeated thrice at the beginning of each word. So it is alliteration, that is, similar sounds are being repeated at the beginning of words, that is alliteration. So in the second line we can see alliteration by the letter H. Okay. Then her, again personification. Her early leaf is a flower. Early leaf is a flower, that is, early leaf is a flower, which means early leaf is being metaphored as a flower. So it is a metaphor, that is, something is represented as something else. So early leaf is represented as a flower here by saying it is that. Just like time is money, we say time is money. So money is, time is represented as, time is said to be as important as money. So here early leaf is a flower, which means early leaf says as a flower, is as beautiful, as innocent as a flower. So that we call metaphor. That poetic device is, we call it metaphor. When something is said to be as something else, we call it a metaphor. Then, but only so in our, then leaf subsides to leaf. So Eden sank to grief. Again, Eden is here. Eden is representing, Eden is symbolic for symbolism, symbolic for Mother Nature. So dawn goes down to day. Again, we can see dawn, down, day. Which is that? Alliteration. Yes, correct. So alliteration is being done here by the letter D. Yes. Then the final letter, final line, nothing gold can stay. Again, gold is symbolic for important, valuable, precious things. Yes. So here we can see symbolism, then personification, alliteration, metaphor, and a beautiful rhyme scheme as poetic devices. Okay, and there is one more important thing, that is imagery also is here. What is imagery? That is, from the beginning of the poem, in our mind, different kinds of images are coming. So at the very beginning, there is the spring, the image of spring comes to our mind. There is first green, first green, we can imagine the first green. When the poet says gold, we can imagine that golden hue. Then the word hue itself is a vision, is a visual image. Then the leaf is a flower. Again, another imagery by flower, that is a visual imagery. Then only so then leaf subsides to leaf. We can imagine that subsiding, that falling down. Eden sank to grief. We can imagine that grief, that change in nature. Then goes down to day. Dawn, day. We can imagine both the times. Before the sunset and after the sunset, both the times we can imagine, we can visualize. That is the quality of imagery, the use of imagery by words. So by using words, the poet is, kind of providing us visual as well as auditory, as well as olfactory, all kinds of images to our mind. So that quality, that poetic device is called imagery, which is very important when we write a poem. That is a very good quality for a poet. The poet is giving images to the reader's mind through his words, his or her words. Okay. So these are the main important poetic devices used in the poem. So as a whole, when we look at the poem as a whole, we can see that it's a beautiful, very beautiful short poem which surprises us by the choice of words, right? And it means, it represents change, a universal, a kind of, very philosophical thought with the example of nature. So by representing the changes in nature, the poet says us about the change in general. Everything will be changed, we will change, our things will change, our seasons will change, climate will change, everything will change. There is nothing that does not change. So when we experience, when we accept, and when we take things it will be better if it is in a kind of